Using just those two colors, I've smeared the paint around with, I've added a little bit more of the Liquitex pouring medium and put more all the way around the canvas and making sure that I get up to the very edge. I used a credit card, of course one that is no longer usable. These make perfect stirring or scraping. It's much easier really than a stick. So, but one important thing with pouring medium is you need to make sure that what you're working on is level. And I did not get a level to make sure, but what I did is, since I poured it all the way to the edge, by the way, you want to, basically it'll stop pretty easily at the edge. If it starts to go over, you know it's not level, you know, if it's fairly full. What I had to do is, since there's a little hollow area underneath my cart, I put a piece of wood there. So it would be advisable to actually use a level, because as this sits overnight, if it is unlevel, it will drip off onto your floor. So one thing is to protect your floor. Right now I'm in a garage, so it doesn't matter too much, but I have protected the floor, at least parts of it, with cardboard. This would be the side it would leak on if it would. And I wanted to also make sure that I didn't have any hollow areas in the pouring medium. So if you look closely, here and there you'll see a hollow area. Where's that, the paint? Here's, trying to focus. There we go. Some hollow areas there. And I prefer for it to all be level. So that's another thing I'm doing with my handy dandy credit card here. See if there's any other, there's another area there. So you kind of got to look at the painting from the side to be able to see if there's any bubbles or hollow areas. Anyway, it's kind of cool. It's a very fun technique. So if you're ever feeling like I do very frequently, I feel like I can't paint because I'm thinking too much. So this is something I've started to do to break through that barrier. The next thing is I wanted to do a more earthy tone, because right now it's a very bright painting, and I'm wanting, what the thought in my head is trees, because I've been looking at trees a lot lately, and of course right now this looks very watery, and it might be that too, but I've decided I want an earthy color, so I'm using my burnt sienna, and this time I don't want it thick, I want it thinner, so I've put maybe this much burnt sienna in the bottom of this bottle. And then I added glazing medium. I used a golden acrylic glazing liquid, but I could have used any other. For instance, I have Liquitex as well. And that would work well as well. So the main thing is I wanted it to get thinner, but I don't want it to lose its bonding consistency. So but I also added some water. So basically it's not a full bottle full. It's about this much paint, this much glazing medium, this much water. Maybe a little bit less glazing medium. Anyway, so my next step, I wanted to fill in some color. I might have to cut the tip of this. Scissors. You'll see my studio is very messy, so anyone who is feeling like they can't work because their studio is messy, I go through that all of the time, and right now I've decided I'm just going to break through and paint, because if I wait till I clean my studio, I'm never going to paint. I just have too many things going on with shows and classes and stuff. So here we go. I can cut the end of these things for them to work. Huh. Who would have known? Oh, cool. So you can actually get drippy effects with this too. Oops, here we go. This might be a little bit redder than what I intended. I was visualizing something a little bit earthier, but let's see what happens. I've neglected to mention that after my credit card smearing, I actually got my fingers in there. I've been desiring doing finger painting lately, and the only thing I don't like about finger paint is that it's not a permanent type of painting medium. It's like tempera, it cracks off of the surface, and I want to use only professional grade colors. So So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my fingers in there and just move the color around a little bit, see what happens. But I also want to leave some of this wonderful splotchiness, I think. Maybe I'll just... And every now and then I'm going to have to stop and clean my hands so that I'm not smearing unintended colors around the surface. So anyway, I just thought I'd share how this process looks. This, I hope, gives others a little bit more courage to just play, because I find that that's what I need to do when I'm stuck and just can't work for some reason. Is play is always the answer to stuckness. So remember that. Have fun.